How do I configure Telnet login to a NetEngine series router? If the IP address of a device is known and the device has been logged into before, you can log into it through Telnet to remotely configure other devices on the network. By default, users cannot directly log in to a device through Telnet. Before you can do so, you need to locally log into the device through the console port and complete the following configurations. First, configure an IP address for the management network interface of the device to ensure that the route between the terminal and device is reachable. Second, configure a user-level and authentication mode for the specified VTY user interface to achieve remote device management and maintenance. Third, enable the Telnet server function on the device so that you can remotely log in to the device through Telnet. After completing these operations, you can log in to the device through Telnet for remote maintenance. The first step is to configure an IP address for the management network interface of the device. Before performing this step, you can run the display IP interface brief command to check whether an IP address has been configured for the management network interface of the device. If so, skip this step. The second step is to configure a user-level and authentication mode for the specified VTY user interface in order to remotely manage and maintain the device. The system supports both AAA and password authentication. Because password authentication is less secure, AAA authentication is strongly recommended. This example uses AAA authentication. In AAA authentication mode, you need to specify an access type for local users. To configure a user level for the VTY user interface, enter the VTY user interface view, run the user privilege level command to set a user level, and then commit the configuration. To configure an authentication mode for the VTY user interface, run the authentication mode AAA command in the VTY user interface view to set the user authentication mode to AAA. Then, run the protocol inbound all command to configure the VTY user interface to support both Telnet and Telnet. After performing these operations, return to the system view, enter the AA view, run the local user password command to configure a local username and password, run the local user service type Telnet command to set the access type of the local user to Telnet, and then commit the configuration. The third step is to enable the Telnet server function on the device so that you can remotely log in to the device through Telnet. The command to be used varies between IPv4 and IPv6 scenarios. This example uses the IPv4 scenario. After performing this operation, you can log in to the device through Telnet. You can use the Windows command prompt window or third-party software to log in to the device through Telnet. Here, we use the Windows command prompt window as an example. Perform the following operations on the PC. First, enter the Windows command prompt window and run the Telnet IP address command. In this example, the IP address of the Telnet server is 10.137.217.33. Then, press Enter and enter a username and password in the login window. If the authentication succeeds, the command prompt window for the user view is displayed. You are now logged in to the remote device. That's all for this video about how to log in to a NetEngine series router through Telnet. Thank you for watching.